I just wanted to come on today. Firstly, my first YouTube video ever, and I can't actually believe the state of my hair. So I'm so sorry about this, but obviously with the hairdressers not open, there's not a lot I could do. But I wanted to come on. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Hayley, and I'm a slim and mild consultant in Essex. I absolutely love the job role. I become a consultant from losing 4 stone with slim and mild, and I absolutely love it, but I will talk further about that in the future. Today I want to talk about something that's a little bit more closer to my heart at the moment, due to it being Endometriosis Awareness Month. So it is something that I suffer with. 1 in 10 women suffer with endometriosis, and surprisingly 62% of women don't actually go to the doctors about it, which is quite staggering. And it's about raising awareness. Women who are struggling, who are suffering from pain and they don't know what's going on. It's deliberating, it's embarrassing, or you feel embarrassed, you don't want to talk about it. And it's just about me really wanting to raise some awareness, and so you don't feel like you're on your own. So I will go through. So when I was 17, this is where the gynae issues started. I was going through a really difficult time in life. My mum passed away when I was 17. She had a really difficult life with cancer, but she had it a couple of times and it was very difficult. But I'll talk about that further in the future as well. It was a very difficult time, especially where I'm surrounded by men, my dad, my brother and uncles, and I have an auntie as well. It's just it's very male dominant, and it was very hard to discuss my issues with regards to what was wrong, because you're embarrassed and I guess you just don't want to talk about it. You don't want to moan. It was a difficult time, but I did go to the doctors and they put it down to stress, which at the time, yeah, understandable. I was getting heavy periods, lots of pain, so they put it down to stress. I did go and have a scan. I went to this place. I was on my own and I had a scan done, and the man wasn't very nice to me, and I'm glad he didn't put me off in the future, because it wasn't a very nice situation. I had the scan and he told me I had polycystic ovaries at the time. Later on, obviously, I found out there was more going on. I found out I had polycystic ovaries, and he basically went to me, "Oh, you do know what this means?" And I was like, no. I was 17, I'd lost my mum, I was very vulnerable, and he basically said, "That means you can't have kids." And I didn't know what I wanted then, you know, I didn't know what I wanted in the future. I was 17, didn't really know what was going on. Life was chaotic anyway. So I remember walking into the car park and cried my eyes out, and all I wanted was my mum, and I was devastated. So rolling on a few years, I kind of left things because I had so much going on, and life was very chaotic. It was not a very good time in my life. But over time, these problems were getting worse. I was in a lot more pain. I was struggling to even walk. Like, my tops of my legs felt heavy, and anyone with endometriosis will know you get very, very painful lower back pain, the tops of your thighs, your stomach, and very, very uncomfortable. And I remember working in a job in a spa where you'd stand all day, and by the end of it, I could barely walk, and I'd think, does everyone else feel like this, or is it just me? And I didn't want to ever complain. I just wanted to get on with my job and, you know, do the best I could. And also, you sort of think, one person's pain, is it the same as another person's pain? So yeah, it was very difficult, and you know, you just don't want to ask, you get embarrassed. But anyway, it got worse and worse, and I remember going to the doctors again and saying, I kind of pushed it, and I was going, it can't be just periods. It can't be just painful periods and being in pain. And they sent me to a gynae again, like gynecologist this time, and she was a female, and she was just dismissive. She completely dismissed me, and I felt I walked away and I felt completely undervalued, not listened to. And I know a lot of people that I speak to feel the same. But one thing I'm going to say, in the, like, following on for that, I didn't give up, and I did go back to the doctors, and they re-referred me. And what I done this time was I wrote everything down. I wrote a list, and I wrote everything, how I felt. And I mean, emotions, periods, pain, the fact that I felt like everything felt so heavy, struggled to walk, and it felt like everything was, the pain was going through me. And I always remember, like, so my appointment was with a gentleman who I now call the God, because he is absolutely amazing. And I went in and he really put me to ease. And when I'd gone previously, I hadn't felt like that. And he made me feel listened to and valued. And I literally read off 5 of the things I'd wrote on the list. And he went, I can tell you 98% that I think you've got endometriosis. And it was like, oh my God, this man believes me. He knows I've got something wrong. And prior to that, I felt like I wasn't believed. And it was like, and even I started to think, is it in my head? And he knew. And then things moved really quickly from that point, and he booked me in for my surgery. And I remember going in, so on the day of surgery, looking at the clock on the wall before I got put to sleep, and I remember the time. And then when I come through, because then you're knocked out, you don't know what's going on, I woke up, and when I was coming round, I looked at the clock, because at this point, when you go to sleep, you actually don't know if you're going to get diagnosed with that. And there's that fear that you think, is it in my head? So when I come through, I looked at the clock, and I knew I'd been in there for a long time. And in my head, I thought, this must be that something's wrong. So he come over to me, my surgeon, and he explained that I had endometriosis, and it was on the bowel, the bladder, it was on the ovaries, fallopian tube, different areas, and he'd removed what was there. And then I returned to see him, I think it was like a couple of weeks after surgery to recover. Surgery was absolutely fine, recovery was fine, nothing to worry about. And when I went to see him and he explained everything, it just made me feel like it wasn't in my head. And it was just, I wish I'd been like diagnosed earlier on. And that's kind of my point of this video, is if you do think you've got any of the symptoms for endometriosis, please don't leave it, go to your doctors, because, you know, once you are seen, you can get sorted. It's not a cure, you're not cured for life. And I later found out I had something called adenomyosis, which is in the womb as well, so you can never get rid of that. But I will talk further, I'll go into more detail, as you know, in another video. But I just kind of wanted to raise awareness. Don't feel like you're on your own. Get all your notes ready, write down little bullet points, go to your doctor, go to your gynae with this all wrote down, and it will, I promise, it will put you at ease. But yeah, I just really wanted to come on and just say as well, if anyone wants to message me, I'm no healthcare expert, but I know endometriosis and the difficulties and the suffering. If you want to ask any questions, don't feel alone. Please message me, and, you know, don't feel like you're on your own. And yeah, so I just wanted to jump on today. It's been really good to talk to you all, and yeah, I hope to see you soon, and I'll be back with another video. Take care, bye.